Alright, in this tutorial we're going to cover how to use the listing spreadsheet to list your items for sale on Amazon. And just a quick few words about this. Everything you input is going to go in here. This is now version 1.1, and this actually allows us to go in and use ISBNs or UPCs. So if you're not a book lover or you're listing a few other items other than books, this spreadsheet will now work just fine for you. So we've made a couple tweaks there. The inventory loader form is the exact form that you're going to upload to Amazon, and it's just a nice front end to allow you to do that. It also creates your shipping plan at the exact same time, as well as spits out your accounting data, which will then feed back in to the tracking spreadsheet from thebookflipper.com. This is a little bit of a new section. We've added some descriptions, so if you like to use boilerplate descriptions and speed up your listing process, we've got various conditions here, so you can see we've got new. You probably won't have some sub-conditions. You'll probably have very similar items or descriptions all the way throughout. If you just want to use the standard boilerplate, that's fine. You can just use new, like new, put your descriptions here, and you'll be off and running. If you do want to have some fine-tune descriptions, you can use letters, numbers, any assortment here. You can even add new lines if needed. But let's say, for example, you wanted to come down to good, and you wanted to add L for library. You can make a description for good library book. So you can say former library book with typical markings, crisp otherwise, whatever your description is going to be. You don't have to use these boilerplates either. It just could speed up your listing process pretty nicely. I like to use 1, 2, and 3. 1 is going to be no markings, 2 is going to be minor markings, 3 is going to be a handful of markings and some coverware, although then you might want to shift it down to acceptable. So put your descriptions in as needed. Again, you can just use the standard G for good, or you could do G and then 1, and we'll show you how to input that. So we just tried to make this a little more flexible and kind of meet some different workflows. So if you don't want to use these and just write your standard description each time, no harm, no foul. When we go back to the input, everything is going to be built off of this column, column F, where the ISBN and UPC is, and we'll walk you through how to use these. You can enter your source up here, and if it changes, we'll tweak it down the left side, and we'll show you how to do that. Your date code can be whatever you want. I like using the first 3 letters of the month followed by the last 2 digits of the year. So it's February of 16. That's what I'm going to use. You're welcome to eliminate that or use it if you'd like. Put your cost in here. Again, you can always change that on a one-off basis as well. And then your item number. If you've already listed 500 items, for example, in the month, you're going to want to put 501 so we don't duplicate any SKUs. You never want to reuse the same SKU unless you're relisting the same item. So I've got a USB scanner set up to my account here, and if you have that, it's going to make this process much, much easier. So you can simply hold your book or your barcode or whatever it is in front of it, scan it, and you're off and running. What it's going to do is it's going to build us some code. So you can see it automatically brought down the source, our date code, and the cost. And if all those are accurate, you can just leave them as is. It builds the SKU here, but if you try and click on it and change it, you're not able to do so. So if you're going to change your SKU, change anything in blue off to the left. If you wanted to add a prefix or change your source, you can do it there. Otherwise, leave the SKU as is. We've tried to build these in the best way possible so that these get, when you print your stickers, they're really easy to find your items. We're going to see an Amazon link here, and you can just click that and bring up the book. You can check and make sure if only one item shows up, then you can use the ISBN. We'll show you a different scenario where that's not the case. In this case, we're going to click through. We're going to figure out where we're going to price it, what the rank is, and put our data in appropriately. As you can see, the rank has stayed consistently right around 100,000, 50,000, somewhere in here. Never really gotten worse than 500,000 or 600,000. Right now, you can see the green sales rank there. It's about 130,000, so we'll just put that in there. We're going to sell Prime, so we want to see what the Prime prices are. Amazon's on it for $21.83. I like to stay at least $1 or so under that. It's a great rank. I'd probably come in at either match this guy at 21 bucks, although he's got an X Library copy and mine's very good without X Library. I might come in at $20.95. So if you come back over to your spreadsheet, this isn't a textbook, so we're not going to put a textbook tag. If we did, we'd just put a Y in front of that, or an X would work fine. Actually, I lied. Just put a Y. And what that does, it puts the textbook tag at the beginning. And if you're going to use a SKU, you need to make sure if you're going to search for it, you put the searchable text at the beginning. If you don't do that, you'll never be able to find it later. So this way I can come back and clean up and reprice my textbooks right before textbook season kicks off. Again, this isn't a textbook. ASIN or Amazon's identification number is only needed when there's multiple copies that show up, and we'll show you what that looks like next. In this case, we don't need it. Sales rank's 130,000, so I'm just going to put that in. You don't need sales rank. I like to track it on the back end, so maybe you only want to track sales rank for books. It's up to you how you want to do that. We're going to price this at $20.95, and my condition is very good. And again, it's just going to use the boilerplate description and pop that in there. If this was a library book and it was in good shape, we could go good, subcondition L for library, and it would spit out the comments there. Former library book with typical markings. In this case, I'm not going to use the subcondition, and it's very good. But just wanted to get you a feel for how that works. So that's it. We've got one book listed. Off we go. Let's show you an example where you want to use the ASIN. So always come back here to the ISBN or UPC. Don't just type the ASIN over here. Always start with something here. So again, I'm going to scan the book. It's going to build a link for me automatically. And when we bring this one up, you'll notice that there's two different copies. So for whatever reason, there's two items that have the same ISBN on Amazon. That's the case, unfortunately, in a lot of scenarios. This is the book we want, Zen and the Art of Road Bike Maintenance. So when we come in here, we're going to do a couple things again. One, we're going to go grab our ASIN. And the ASIN is always the first 10-digit number. Sometimes it's got letters in front, but it's always just after the Amazon.com/listing and then that number. So if you double-click it, Control-C for copy, and then come back over here. We're just going to drop that in as our ASIN, and now it knows to pull the right item. If we just uploaded the ISBN, Amazon wouldn't know what item it is, and it wouldn't get listed properly. So make sure you put the ASIN if more than one item appear on the main screen. If we go back to our page here, the sales rank's phenomenal. Right now it's about 70,000. You can get as granular as you want or as ungranular as you want. And pricing wise, because it's selling a lot of copies, there's only 3 prime copies. You can see Amazon is sold out almost every time they've thrown the book into inventory. So we don't have to worry too much about them. I might come in at $17.95. I might even price higher and just wait for some of these other guys to sell out. Maybe $25 with that new pricing change. Let a few guys sell and come in with $25, and someone can still get that free Super Saver shipping. So again, we're going to come back to our spreadsheet. Sales rank is roughly 70,000. Let's say we want to go at that $25 price point, and again, we've got a very good copy. It's going to build our description for us. If for some reason we don't like this or we need to change it, let's say there's a CD or not a CD, you can just simply type in the description box and off you go. One other search feature, if you can't find the ISBN, let's say it's an older pre-ISBN book, you can actually just type in the title. So you can just say good to great. It's going to look up anything on Amazon that matches that search. So you can see all the books here that match it. Lots of various editions. Let's say it's this first one here. So we click into it. Again, we kind of build our listing appropriately. Again, because there was multiple copies, we always want to come up before you do anything else, grab the ASIN, paste that in, and then we're off and running. And in this case, again, you can pick up the book for $1.30 plus 4 from a merchant fulfilled seller, or you could get somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 or $9 if you're willing to sell it prime, as you should be. So yeah, again, great sales rank. You could go ahead and build your listing from there. Let's say for whatever reason that this, instead of coming from home, came from somewhere else. Let's say we got this at a Goodwill. So I might go Goodwill, Lakewood, for example. It's a city just near us. You can change your source here, and it actually changes your SKU, as you can see. If the cost had changed again, you can put $1.50. And you can see that your cost changes in your SKU, so you know what it is. And more importantly, it feeds through to the accounting spreadsheet. So that's how to use books. Again, you'd want to make sure you put your conditions, etc. Let's say I don't want to list that book. Not a problem. We can keep moving on. Let's say we found more items from Goodwill. And let's show you how to use a UPC. So I've got a neat receipt scanner here, brand new in the box. So you can see our UPC only comes up as 12 digits, and that's okay. As we go click on the link, it'll bring up the item. Again, because we only see one item here, we're good to go with the UPC. If we saw multiple, we'd want to enter the ASIN as well. So in this case, we're going to come back over. Sales rank means a totally different thing when it comes to electronics, so we're not really going to pay attention, but I can still look at the humps in the green line here and know that it's selling quite often. The lowest merchant fulfilled is 70. Like new is 134. And if we want to actually look at new, nope, nobody's on the listing. So that's a very, very good scenario for us. We might be able to list that as high as 150, maybe 200 bucks. And again, you can see the price history over time, how it's done. New has been kind of in this $140 price range, and Amazon has not been on the listing in the last 3 months. So it's up to you to pick your price point. The important thing for the spreadsheet is that you come back through. I'd clear out the ASIN. If I found it at the same Goodwill, I'd leave the source alone. Let's say my cost here was $25. Sales rank, I'm going to leave it off because it's not a book and I don't want to track those ranks. Price, let's say we came in at $149.95, and then condition is new, and again, it's going to build out that boilerplate description. So that's how to use the listing spreadsheet. If you have any questions, you can drop me a line, thebookflipper@gmail.com. And again, it's going to build all of your sheets here, and we'll do a different video on how to upload these to Amazon. Thanks for watching.